sweeties, how are you? Hope you are all fine. So now that you have revised or went over the recorded video and we discussed everything in the live Zoom session, okay, it's time and we solved a part of the worksheet. Now it's time for you to watch this video to know how to solve the whole worksheet together. Okay, are you ready? Let's move on. Let's make a quick revision for the vocabulary words with their meanings. Circulates, moves in a circular path. Absorb, soak up, especially liquid. Affect, influence. Conserve, keep from harm, loss, or change. Cycle, a series of events that happen over and over in the same order. Glaciers, large masses of ice found in cold regions or on top of high mountains. Necessity, something that is needed or required. Seeps, flows, or spreads slowly. Now let's exercise in the vocabulary exercises. Write a complete sentence to answer each question below. In your answer, use the vocabulary word in bold. 1. How can cold weather affect plants in a garden? What does the cold weather do to the plants in the garden? It uproots them for sure. Cold weather affects the plants by uprooting them from the soil. What kind of cycle might you learn about at school? What kinds of cycles you learn about? And let me give you a hint in science. You learn about what? Animals' life cycles, for example. We might learn about life cycles of different animals. 3. What can be used to absorb liquid that is spilled? How could you absorb the liquid that is spilled on the floor, for example? Towels or sponges, if you want to use sponges or towels, can be used to absorb liquid that is spilled. 4. What kind of place would you need to visit in order to see glaciers? For sure, the mountains. I have to visit the mountains in winter to see glaciers. 5. What should you do when water seeps under the sink? When it seeps under the sink, this means that it's broken maybe, so it needs a plumber. When water seeps under the sink, I have to call the plumber to fix the sink. 6. What is one way that air circulates through a house? How could air circulate through the house? Air conditioners is a way to circulate air through the house. 7. How can we conserve water at home? How can we conserve water at home? By decreasing the consumption of water, for example. Or we can conserve water at home by taking short showers. Excellent. 8. What is a necessity for all human beings? What is necessary for us? Food is a necessity for all human beings. To the exercise B, fill in the blank with the stable word from the vocabulary bank. Number 1, his lack of sleep will, what he learns in class. What would lack of sleep do to him? It will affect what he learns in class. 2, the life of a butterfly has several stages. I have stages of the butterfly in what? In the life cycle. Towels can water and other liquids. What can towels do? Absorb. 4, can be found in high in the mountains. What can be found high in the mountains? Glaciers. The soup through a crack in the bowl. So I have a crack in the bowl. What would happen to the soup? It will seep. The soup seeps through a crack in the bowl. A fan, cool air through the house. What does the fan do? It circulates cool air through the house. Use each word in a sentence of your own. Okay, I'm just going to propose or suggest my answers. You can write your own answers, but pay attention, they have to be complete sentences. Conserve. How can we use conserve in a sentence? We might say, don't run around too much because you need to conserve your strength, to keep your strength. Necessity. What could be a necessity? Getting plenty of sleep is a necessity. Affect. Smoking affects our health. Simply. Now we can skill, which is the author's purpose, which is inform, persuade, or entertain. And as I reminded you, it's as a read the description or example and determine the author's purpose to entertain, to persuade, or to inform. Then explain your answer. I have to write the author's purpose, then I have to explain why. Number 1, Mrs. Wilbur writes a note to Sadie's teacher explaining why Sadie was absent the past 2 days. So here is the author trying to us to have fun? No. Is he trying to convince us with something? No. So he is informing us. So the author's purpose is to inform. What explanation could be? Why is it to inform? Because the note was written to give the teacher information, simply. Two, a man wrote an article in the local newspaper telling about the need to recycle in the community. He gave reasons why recycling is important and ways it can be done easily. So here his purpose is what? Just telling us or giving us information? No, he wants us also to recycle. So his purpose here is to persuade. Why? Because the article was written to convince people to recycle, to make people recycle. Three, a story about a magical horse that could fly. When someone rode this horse, their dreams and wishes come true. So, what's the author's purpose here? For sure, it's to entertain. And the explanation is the story entertains the reader with the story of magical horse. Four, a chapter in a science book explaining how blood circulates through the body. So here is a chapter in science and explaining, giving information. So it's what the author's purpose to inform. Why? What is the explanation? The chapter gives information about the circulatory system. Last one, an advertisement for a new washing machine that will wash up to 15 pairs of jeans or up to 20 towels in one load. The washer will save your time and money. So here it's what to persuade, to convince people to buy the washing machine. So that explanation is the ad tries to convince the reader to buy the new washing machine. Now, guys, we reached the last part of the worksheet, which is related to the figures of speech. Again, here in the worksheet, the exercises are related only to personification and irony. Okay, are you ready? Let's start. Determine what figure of speech each sentence is. Write S for simile, M for metaphor, P for personification, and I for irony. So, this question is made for you in order to know how to differentiate between these four types of figures of speech that you have covered and to master them 100%. Number one, the sun smiled down on the earth. Does the sun smile? For sure, no. People are those who smile. So, this is personification. The baby's skin was a rose petal. So here the writer is comparing the baby's skin to rose petal, but he didn't use the word like or as. He used the verb to be, was, so it is a metaphor. The teacher responded, sure, it's not like we do anything important in this class. Could a teacher seriously say that or mean it seriously? For sure, no, because everything we do in class is very important. So here the teacher is being sarcastic. So this is irony. The trees of the forest watched over the lost child. Could the trees watch? For sure, no. Humans are the only creatures that could watch. So it is personification. The stars were diamonds. The stars are compared to diamonds, but is there any word like or as? No, so it is a metaphor. She is soft as feathers. Here is we are comparing she to feathers, but we are using as, so this is a simile. Life is as tedious as a twice told tale. Also, we're comparing life to twice told tale. We're using as. So this is simile. The old car woke reluctantly from its overnight sleep. So would the old car wake up? Because for sure no, because it doesn't sleep at all. Only human are those who sleep, so it is personification. Thank you, officer. Now that you have my license, I can't drive. Could someone who doesn't have his license say thank you to the officer? For sure, no. So it is irony. Excellent. This day couldn't start off any better. I've got a flat tire. Imagine yourself getting a flat tire. Could you say that this is a good day? For sure, no. Also, it is showing sarcasm. So it is what? Irony. On the lines provided, explain the meaning and use of each personification below. Here we have to explain what is the usage for the personification. The sunflower nodded in the wind. Could the sunflower nod in the wind? For sure, no. But why did we use here the expression nodded? Because the sunflower was moving up and down like a nodding neck, like a human who is nodding his neck. So the sunflower is moving up and down because of the wind. Simply. That's the explanation. The sunflower is moving up and down because of the wind. The angry storm pounded the shelter. Could we have an angry storm? For sure, no. But we mean here that the storm destroyed the shelter badly. 3. The silence crept into the classroom. Does silence has legs and can creep into a classroom? For sure, no. But the whole classroom was silent. No one was talking. Everyone was in a complete silence. 4. The city never sleeps. The city never sleeps. Could a city sleep? For sure, no. But what do you mean by the city never sleeps? That the city is always crowded and noisy. See, and the last exercise, complete each sentence below to make an iron. We have to make an iron. I just posted about how useless Facebook is on. To make it irony, where would you post something useless about Facebook? Where? Also on my Facebook profile or on my Facebook wall. This shows sarcasm, opposite of what you're doing. How could you post that Facebook is useless on Facebook? So at the same time, you're using Facebook. This doesn't get any point. 2. The Titanic was promoted as unsinkable, but what happened to the Titanic? It was promoted unsinkable, but sank. Bravo, excellent. It sank, but sank in 1912. I can't go to the mosque because I have a test to study for. Mosque, what could be the test? And we have to make it irony, a religion test. The name of our neighbor's biggest dog, its biggest, the biggest dog. How could it be irony? What could we name it? Tiny, for sure. I uploaded a video on YouTube about, look what I'm going to say, about the disadvantages of using YouTube. How could you post a video on YouTube about the disadvantages of using YouTube? This itself makes it an irony. So now that we have explained everything, you can go over the explanation and the solution one more time and revise everything before you move to the online quiz tomorrow. Be ready. Don't hesitate. Okay? Stay safe. Bye.